Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 4v4. That is right, it is a 4v4 between members of the OKW clan and the PZABT clan. PzAbtl, I don't know how you call it, but... Anyways, our heroes today, from the OKW and playing as the Germans, are going to be Loxley, playing in the blue. His allies... in no particular order, but just going by color, I suppose, we have Liza playing in the yellow. Then we have Otto Gans. Let me actually open up the list so you can see the names. We have Otto Gans, playing as the teal player. And lastly, we have Vanguard playing as the player in the green. For the Soviet side, in the red, we have Mister PoPo playing as the red Soviet. His ally in the pink or purple trunks is Das Frags. In the orange, we have 250th Blue Division. And lastly, in the poop, we have PerfectWave. And there you go. So let's go ahead and close that out because it's ugly. Now, this is Steps. It is not the frozen version, as you can tell by the lack of ice. So that means that this little island... I don't know, but I would assume it's probably just going to be, controlled by somebody for the entire game, but who knows. Interesting, though. I had not noticed these. Is this actually new? This is a Sherman carcass. Wonder if that got changed in the recent patch. I never actually noticed. I could potentially go back and look previous videos, but yeah, those are Shermans. Well, anyways... down in the south, we have some engagements. We have Pios running into some combat engineers, conscripts, and even a maxi machine gun from the red player. Pios are forced to retreat. Grens move in to engage. And they do manage to force off those combat engineers from capturing the fuel, but they go down to the south into the woods there and take some light cover while the Grens set themselves up in heavy cover as the maxi machine gun moves up to fire against them. However, the Grens are in heavy cover, so they manage to not really take too much damage. Conscripts are Uraing past the alliance to try to get behind the enemy. However, the enemy shifts quite nicely and gets them suppressed as an MG42 is set up in the middle of the road, catching those conscripts out of position. Maxi machine gun opens up and gets the suppression off on the Pios. The Grens continue to push forward. They might be able to get a nice flank there on that maxi machine gun. The maxi machine gun decides to shift its angle and try to catch those Grens as they move around. They are in light cover, however, they will get suppressed. There goes the suppression. The Pios are now back in action, set themselves up in heavy cover, and are opening up on the maxi machine gun. However, they don't really manage to do too much damage. MG42, however, does set up at range and gets a suppression off of the maxi machine gun, reducing its effectiveness. However, the Gren squad is forced to retreat off of the field as it does get down to one man. In the north, we see that the center has been captured by the OKW team. They push forward with Teal and some Grand squads as the conscript squad is forced to evacuate those trenches as they just end up getting slaughtered. And up in the north, we see Pios engaging against conscripts. Remember, Pios are not as OP as they were in the last patch. They will do more damage at close range, but they're not going to beat a conscript squad at close range, at least not by themselves. So, you can't rely on them as combat troops. So down south, the engagement still goes on. We have snipers and penal battalions on the field for orange, supporting. Grand squad is forced to retreat for green, and we see that the German forces have really been pushed back to a small sliver of the island. They have 1 point connecting some territory in the land. MG42 is forced to back off. The snipers just picking off units left and right over here, and we see these snipers taking on this MG42 across the river up in the north. Penal Battalion pushes forward with his flamethrower, managing to get some damage in there. Sniper continues to shoot, and the MG42 will be going down. It's going to try to pack up and leave. It might actually be able to leave. The sniper does not manage to get in range, so that's a lucky MG42, but the Penal Battalion will remain there and capture the point. MG42's just set up across the river, or well, on the enemy side of the river, I suppose you could say. And a little bit of cover there by the woods, not really heavy cover or light cover even. But we have more snipers on the field for the Soviets. We have 2 snipers for pink, and we have 2 snipers for orange. That would obviously tell us that Tier 1 has been placed for orange and pink, or purple. And we see that Tier 2 has gone down for red, and no tech for poop, so we'll see. Back at the base for the Germans, we have Tier 1 for pretty much everybody. We see green player going now for Tier 2. But yeah, all German players pretty much go for Tier 1 all the time. As far as doctrines go, I mean, I can check right now and see, but I have the list. Okay, well, we have the German players, the German side selecting their doctrines. I'm not going to obstruct the vision. I'll just tell you what they are. We have the blue player, Loxley, going for the Jaeger armor doctrine. Liza, which is the one in the yellow, over up here in the center, goes for the elite troops doctrine. Pretty sure. Let me double check. Yeah, elite troop doctrine. This engagement outside still going on. The Germans are getting pushed back, although they are managing to break into the lines a little bit. Anyways, Otto, which is the teal player, went for joint operations doctrine, and lastly, Vanguard goes for the assault support doctrine. And we see now that from the southern island, the German forces have been routed. They have been forced to cross to their own side of the river. The only thing left is an MG42 trying to defend the approach with a mortar behind it for support, but that is about it. The southern side is now falling, getting captured, and we have snipers and a lot of infantry and heavy machine guns just littered around the way. Up in the north, Teal trying to recapture some territory as the Soviet forces did manage to cap a lot. We have conscripts for Poops just moving around trying to recap territory while the center is being held by Yellow, but he doesn't have a lot of players here. We have a rifle nade going down on the conscript squad. Nice rifle nade. Ooh, a lot of damage. MG42 gets more damage in there, forces the retreat, and there it goes. Snipers, however, are now leaving the southern island, moving into the center. We see a flare getting popped. Sounds a lot like there you go. Sounds a lot like the rifle nade, but it's the flare. Always used to confuse me there. Grenadiers for Teal, moving down south, trying to get a little bit of a flank here on this massive sniper team, but that's 4 snipers. That Grand Squad can go down very quickly. 1 sniper is forced to retreat as it does take a little bit of damage. The 2 purple players, snipers, are still on the field with 1 of oranges there for support. Grand Squad's just getting annihilated down to 1 man, and there it goes. Very quick kills as long as they're combined. Very difficult to deal with. Mortars setting up across the river on the southern side, trying to dislodge the Soviet forces from the southern island as a Grand Squad just moves across the edge of the map, trying to get a little bit of a flank, see if it can catch an MG out of position. And this MG is out of position right there. It's looking in the main angle. Well, not out of position, but you know, they are moving or setting themselves up for a nice flank there. Center point has fallen to the Soviet forces. The Germans back off with their mortars, getting a little bit more defensive position. Artillery field officer trying to coordinate those mortars is getting assaulted there by a conscript squad and down to 1 man. The officer itself dies, and the remaining troop there ends up retreating. They should be able to actually get another officer once they request one, but well, they've lost a good man that day. Grenadiers prodding into the southern side to get that victory point. They do manage to dislodge that MG42 as the mortars across the river, they actually cross into the island and start bombarding everything. They are making it very difficult for the Soviet forces to hold the line. This AT gun as well is just getting bombarded. Look at those mortars fly. Those are 3 mortars for blue, and we also have a scout car on the field for Loxley. That is tier 2 down for all players, so the German forces not skipping any tech so far. We have tier 2 down for everybody, and more units being produced, obviously. Snipers continue to move around. Back at base for the Soviets, we have tier 3 going down for red, and tier 3 going down for orange, and that is about it. We see that Poop player has decided to go for tier 2, and I'm not going to switch over just to check. I can tell you the doctrines for the oh, nasty. Was that a mine? Yeah, that was a mine. You can see there the crater under it. I'm pretty sure it was a mine. I don't know, actually. Whatever, doesn't matter, actually. Anyways, we have Mister PoPo going for mechanized support tactics. We had Das Frags going for shock rifle frontline tactics. We have the 250th, what was it called? I forget. It's ooh, nice scout car getting catching those snipers very out of position. Scout car is veterancy 3, not because it's killed anything. This is veterancy acquired by the elite troops doctrine, and it's trying to get the kills there. Combat engineers are trying to stop them. The conscripts might be able to move in and get an 18-8 if they have it. Penal battalion will do a lot of damage, but one of the sniper squads does fall. The second one gets taken out, and there it goes. The snipers for pink aren't still on the base. The scout car might actually want to go there, but it looks like he's going to decide to just simply get out of there. However, with the base sector MGs shooting at them and an 18-8 going off on the scout car will die. So it would have been a little bit better just to sacrifice and try to see if it could hunt down the other snipers. But oh well, it does get 2 sniper kills, so very nice usage of a scout car for that. This scout car over here has an auto cannon, but is severely damaged down to a sliver of health. Needs some help, and surprisingly enough, we don't see a lot of troops on the field. Mostly are just artillery and light infantry just peppered around. You see troops moving here, troops moving around here, but no lines just yet. We do have some S minefields getting laid down here right through the path. Very nice. The Maxim machine gun does take some damage. Artillery fire getting opened up on that MG42 by the AT gun. However, the carcass of the Sherman manages to absorb some of that damage, or all of the damage really. And the MG42 actually does not lose anybody. Moves out of the way, and there he goes. T-34 is now on the field for the Soviets. 2 T-34s heading straight down south of the island. We see penal battalions, conscripts, and everything moving in together with them. Nice little push here by the Soviets. The mortar squads are forced to retreat. They don't want to lose themselves. That is a very strong unit or detachment, or I don't know how you would call it there, but it's a strong force having 3 mortars. It's very hard to withstand those for a long while. T-34 pushes forward, runs straight into a pack gun while trying to destroy the bunker. Ends up getting a little bit damaged, down to about half health. Penal Battalion gets caught by an MG42, forces the retreat as well. And down south, the T-34 is fighting against an MG42. But the pack gun turns itself around and gets some shots off on the southern T-34. More T-34s on the field as Blue Division. It's the guy I was talking about. He went for the Soviet industry tactics, so he can build a lot of tanks very quickly. And lastly, PerfectWave, the PoPo player, has advanced warfare tactics. And there he goes. So T-34 is moving down to support. T-34 down in the south as well. The pack gun does get, well, not destroyed, but decrewed. So the T-34s are able to roam free. This one is going up to the north, as it doesn't really have much else to do, I suppose. German forces push back to their own side of the river. The southern Isle will once again fall. We see Green pushing forward with his Grens, trying to contest the area, but there's too many tanks here and not enough anti-tank for them to be able to do much. Faust will disable the tanks slightly, but it's not going to really be a coup de grace there. PoPo player pushing into the center with a lot of conscript squads, 3 in total. Running into some combat engineers, scout cars, and a lot of mortars. The mortars decide to retreat as they don't want to be lost. And there they go, full rout. Pioneer squad retreats as well, as there is one of the mortars does end up dying in the trench, and the conscripts push forward and are going to try and take down that point. T-34 moves into support. We'll be able to destroy that fuel cache very quickly, but we do have a pack gun moving in that direction. We'll be able to get some damage on the T-34, but I very much doubt it'll kill him. But we now have Tier 3 down for Loxley with a Panzer IV already hitting the field. We also have Teal going for a Tier 4, and that's about it. We might see yellow and green skipping all the way to Tier 4, so we'll see. Panzer IV moves down south, going to try and dislodge those Maxim machine guns from stopping the advancing infantry. We do have a stolen pack gun, however, in the island, so it will be able to get some nice shots in on that Panzer IV. Panzer IV now getting shot at by 2 AT guns, takes a lot of damage in the frontal armor and is forced to retreat down to about 30% health. The Pios are retreating as well, so the Panzer IV will just get the hell out of there. We have another Panzer IV on the field for Teal. Teal will push forward into the center. No, it decides to actually back off once again. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Orange decides to back off. I was going to say Teal was going to run into that T-34. But the Grens will be able to recapture the territory. Up in the north, fortunately for the German players, not much is being contested. We do have PoPo players, conscript squad just capturing that munitions, and only now going for the victory point. Victory points are 384 for the Germans, 416 for the Soviets. Conscripts getting caught by an MG42 all the way up in their territory. Not very bold. This conscript squad pops into the house, but it has no angle of fire on that MG42, as this door over here, well, it doesn't open to be able to fire from. MG42 trying to catch the conscripts Ura, and get themselves right in front of the MG42. The MG42 decides to ignore it and just retreat. We hear a plane just circling around somewhere, but that's just a reconnaissance plane in the southern island. We do have an AA gun for Red, and he is trying to shoot down that plane. Will be able to do so. I believe he will. Can't actually see the plane myself. It's flying somewhere around there. Where did it crash? Over there? Is that it? Yeah, there it is. Plane crashed over here. Didn't hit anything. Unfortunate, but oh well. Anyways, right-hand side, T-34s, AT guns and everything, duking it out against a Panzer IV and approaching Panzer Grenadiers with Shreks. In the center, we see a lot of engagements. We have a lot of infantry just peppered around the center, engaging against some Grens. Snipers still being a pain in the ass. We have more snipers for Orange on the field. We still have the 2 snipers for Teal. I mean, not Teal, Purple, Pink, whatever. And they have Su-85s as well, so we have Tier 3 down for Poop, Tier 3 down for Orange, and Tier 3 down for Red, while Purple goes for Tier 4. And we have Tier 4 down for Yellow, and Tier 3 down for everybody else. So Yellow has a Panzer Warfer on the field, nice little artillery there. Throws a barrage into the center center fuel point, but does not manage to do much else. The Teal scout car gets a little bit shot up there by the Maxim machine gun, but decides to push back, or pull back, I should say. And we still have some Panzer forces. The Soviet forces do have the Germans now essentially cornered. There's not much in the north to stop any advances, but they currently have that territory as the conscript squad continues to move on and encroach into the German territory. We do have a Opel Blitz there, but doesn't actually do anything. Doesn't prevent the capture of the point, so it's not going to be pretty. Down south, a Panzer IV is getting repaired with a Panzer Warfer there for support. We see a T-34 moving up, getting Fausted here by those Grens, getting disabled down to a sliver of health. The Panzer IV will move in that direction and try to catch it, and it should be able to catch it. There it goes, nice shot. T-34 out of control, will shoot back at the Panzer IV. No, actually does not manage to get a shot off. Moves out of the way and crashes into the house and explodes. Panzer IV on the field for green. The Panzer Warfer shoots into the center. Right on top of everything. Nice little cluster here of units. Very nice target. We have planes just circling around for strafing runs, apparently. And nice shots here by the AT guns. I think they actually took down the half-track, didn't it? No, the half-track actually hit overdrive and got out of the way. Repair station down in the southern aisle for Orange. Very nice. Those are gonna be quite useful. And there we go. Well, I heard another plane crash, but I don't know where. Well, anyways. Center map. Panzer IV gonna surprise the T-34 as it moves in its direction. We do have an Su-85 nearby for support and another T-34 behind getting some repairs. Scout car is nearby the Panzer IV. This stolen pack gun is looking in the wrong direction. Artillery field officer still on the field. Grens nearby. And we see the Panzer IVs moving into the southern island, getting a lot of kills here, getting the AT guns decrewed. It could also destroy them if necessary, although they'll probably try to take it. Pack gun moves down. We have Maxim machine guns and guards and a lot of things on the field. Panzer IVs moving in unison. The overdrive gets hit on the half-track. The half-track gets the hell out of dodge there, and it's going to make it out. We see a marked vehicle going down on one of the Panzer IVs and a Buttoning going down on the other, just trying to lock them down and get as much damage as they can on them. The guards do end up having to retreat. Maxim machine gun and everything retreats as well. The T-34 that moved down south is doing some good damage here on these Panzer IVs. However, the one with the marked vehicle is the one further south. Manages to get a nice rear armor hit there, but does not die. We have a T-34 85 on the field for Poop, and it manages to no, actually, well, does manage to get a nice shot in on this Panzer IV, doing a lot of damage. Veteran C2 acquired on this Panzer IV, getting those sexy armored skirts, and this other one is at about a third of the way there for the Veteran C2. Katusha now on the field for purple. Center map, still an Su-85 around there with 2 snipers for support, pack guns, and maximum machine guns. So this is just a line that is drawn, and the bloody engagement is in the southern aisle. We now see a Panzer IV for green crossing into the lines, gets a nice shot in on that T-3485. T-3485 quite damaged. Will need some help. See an IL-2 strafing run right on top of all the infantry, forces away a Grand Squad. We do still have those mortars out in the river. And down south, a Maxim machine gun. No, actually, MG-42s, never mind. Panzer IV now taking some decent amount of damage. It's actually inflicting a lot of damage on that T-3485. However, it just moves up to get itself killed, as there is another T-3485 and a pack gun that got stolen nearby, so it goes down in flames. T-34 now getting repaired by the repair station, will be just fine. And the Panzer Warfare moves up. This Panzer Warfare could get a nice amount of damage if he shoots right here, potentially destroying some of these, but we'll see. Down south, the MG-42s end up dying, and there they go. And the mortars are still just littered around. We have how many mortars? 3 still? 1, 2. No, actually, it's just 2. No, we do have 3. 1, 2, and the third one over here. Grand Squad pushes forward. Panzer Warfare does get a nice barrage off on where the T-3485 is, but it's already fully repaired, and the repair stations only take a moderate amount of damage, but don't die. Grand Squad retreating. Mortars going to be forced to retreat as well. But there is a pack gun across the river, gets some nice damage in on the T-3485 and forces them to back off a little bit. The mortar ends up getting cleared out. The other mortars just back off a little bit and set up in different angles, just to be able to continue to pepper into enemy territory. Tiger on the field for green. That T-3485 met a nasty surprise there. Pack guns also nearby for support. Conscripts trying to move on top of the mortar will decrew it, and there it goes. And the one-man conscript is now dead. Panzer IVs move back into the island. Gonna utilize the power of the Tiger to be able to break in and disrupt the lines and the forces. This Tiger is still across the river, not doing too much. Conscript squad is forced to retreat. We see the T-34s moving down south, going to try to engage those Panzer IVs. The Tiger is crossing the river. No, it's actually just sitting there. It needs to cross the river and go help out. The Panzer IVs will do a lot of damage, but they will not be able to handle it by itself. Veteran C2 Panzer IV will be going down. Gets a shot off on that T-34. T-34 dies, and the main gun dies on that on that Panzer IV. But it stays alive. That is very lucky there for for the OKW clan, but that's specifically for Loxley. Pack gun goes down to the Tiger. The Tiger pushes forward. It is currently buttoned, but it just crawls out of the way. Remember, do not use button at maximum range because the vehicle will still be able to move, and if it moves out of the range, it just breaks the button. You have to get those guards all up in there so they can maximize the effect of the buttoning. T-34s and an IS-2 on the field for the Soviet forces, moving up to the north center, I should say. The T-34 is just wrecking this Panzer IV with the help of the IS-2. Scout car is on the field and is getting some nice damage in on that T-3485, but the T-3485 will be able to one-shot it. No, it's a Veteran C3 scout car, so it manages to actually stay alive, even though it should not actually get any defensive buffs. It just means it gets out of there very quickly. Although it just backed off a little bit very slightly, so it will live. No, T-3485 lost it, so it's fine. Down south, the mortar is used to try to go capture the point. Veteran C2 on this Panzer IV. It is now fully repaired. Continues to engage against T-3485s and standard T-34s. The Tiger is still on the field, but not being very aggressive. The Panzer IVs are the ones leading the charge here. The Panzer IV keeps getting bombarded. And, where'd that hit? Ah, man, I didn't see it. Well, I heard a bomb go off somewhere, but I do not see where the impact... but oh well. Up in the north, IS-2 moved in to try to dislodge that MG-42, and it manages to do that swimmingly. We have another pack gun over here, but won't be able to do much against those conscripts as they capture point. And Garen's trying to fend off that conscript squad. They do have an LMG and veteran C2, however, they decide to retreat as a Molotov gets tossed into their face. And the Panzer IV down south ends up dying. This one is still very disabled, just needs to get repaired, but made it out of there, she's still alive. And the Panzer IV over here ended up dying. ISU on the field for red. This is very unlucky here for the German players. A nice shot flies there at that Tiger. The Tiger takes a massive amount of damage. Artillery shots also flying its direction. The ISU just have massive amount of range. It's almost an artillery gun, except it flies straight. Panzer Warfare opening up on an artillery gun or where? Well, manages to destroy one of the repair stations. However, I still see a lot of, well, one is a combat engineer squad, but that's still a lot of repair dudes, even though they lost their station, which is weird. I guess they'll all go join up at the other one, maybe? I don't know. Elephant on the field, however, for Loxley, with a Panzer IV there for support, so that Elephant will be able to duke it out against that ISU. The ISU moves a little bit too forward. There's nothing there to support it. Needs to have at least an infantry squad in front of it so that it can actually shoot. We do see some conscripts nearby. These conscripts actually have a DP light machine gun. They have been performing rather well, and they got rewarded with some extra weaponry there from their fallen comrades. Bolster their damage. Panzer IV moves up. The ISU decides to shoot against the Elephant, it looks like. Elephant. Oh, nice direct shot there on that ISU. The ISU takes a massive amount of damage and backs off. Elephant is still shooting at it. Not managing to get much of a kill. T-34s set themselves up. It looks like they're going to be trying to go for a flank on that Elephant. However, the Elephant is still aware of their presence. Gets a nice shot in on the side armor of one of those and decides to back off. We got mines, stellar mines apparently getting laid down across the path. These Pios decide to move out of the way as the Teller mine did end up getting placed, so the T-34s cannot really push forward. We do have a Tiger and a Panzer IV on the flank. A nice rear armor hit on that T-34. More rear armor hits as the Tiger moves in. The Grens are able to get a Faust off on the lead one, getting it killed. The second one is now in a very tough spot, and it's not even moving back. Now it moves back, but I don't think it's going to be enough time. The Elephant is nearby, gets a nice shot in on that T-34, and down it goes. And the last remaining T-34-45 decides to get the hell out of there as it does not want to die. Up in the north, Panther and Pack Gun just trying to hold the line by themselves with the Grand Squad there for support behind it. We have still a Panzer IV, and that scout car is still alive, supporting some Grens. Victory points are down to 37 for the German forces, and still 394 for the Soviets. So the Germans are starting to run out of time here. They do manage to get some nice kills on the southern island, as that Elephant has massive amounts of range. This M5 half-track is in a little bit of trouble. Shot flies at the T-34-45, but it manages to dodge that quite easily. And we now see that the repair guys have dwindled down to... No, actually, no. It's still 6 men. Because, oh, there's this other one over here. Whatever. AT Gun's getting some nice damage there on that Elephant. The Elephant just continues to shoot at the ISU. The ISU is backing off as the AT Guns move forward. We see that the Panzer IV is going straight at that ISU. It might be able to get the flank on the ISU, but it is going to get hunted down by that T-34-85. Let's take a look at that side of the map and see what's going on. The ISU is... yeah, it's in a lot of trouble as that Panzer IV has managed to essentially lock it down. Doing a lot of damage to it. The Panzer IV is getting shot at the rear armor, however, by that T-34-85. Gets the weapon destroyed on that ISU. Continues to push forward. Needs to get it killed. Misses the shot. Needs to get behind it so it can penetrate a little bit easier. And there it goes. ISU out of control. But the Panzer IV ends up giving its life as the T-34 eliminates it. We still have an Elephant on the field, however, for blue, so he will be able to utilize that. And the M5 half-track almost takes out that Pio. Shot fires from the Elephant, but it misses there. And that is holding fire. Center map, we see 2 Tigers pushing forward, going to try and break the lines over here. We see a Katusha getting caught well out of position here by those Tigers. The Tiger is turning its gun, although it seems to be focusing into the center, which is unfortunate. It needs to take out that Katusha. The Katusha is just backing off. The snipers are a little bit more of a threat, I guess. Ram goes off on... Oh, that was unfortunate. Ram goes off on the Tiger. It gets a crew shock, but the ISU is nearby and manages to get the kill on the Tiger. The Tiger pushes forward. This T-34 is out of commission. We also have a KV-2 on the field for Blue Division. Gonna get a shot off on the Tiger. The Tiger gets crew shocked. And we also have the ISU adding on top of that. So that's a lot of firepower going down. Artillery shots fly from that KV-2. The KV-2 unable to do too much damage there to the Tiger. Just keeps on hitting in front of it, not really impacting directly. So the Tiger will be able to hold for a little while. But those shots are continuing to fly all over the place. Pack guns and AT guns are set up all on top of the ridge, managing to inflict a lot of damage to the Tiger, forcing it to just back the hell off. And up in the north, we see a T-34-85 moving down south, going to run into that MG-42. And a pack gun. The pack gun will set up and get some shots off on the T-34. Nice rear armor hit. Does a lot of damage and forces it away. And down in the southern isles, we see that the territory is starting to get captured by Blue. Down to 33 points for the Germans. They have managed to essentially get themselves a triple cap going, as the point down south is getting captured there by those Grens. So nice little turnaround there. MG-42 gets stolen there by Mister PoPo, now getting shot at by the Panzer IV. Panzer IV should be able to kill it off. We do have another ISU on the field for Red. We also have the Elephant on this side of the island. Should be able to clear out that repair station as well. Maxim machine gun moving down south, going to try to engage the infantry. The infantry is set up. The Elephant shoots, ISU shoots back and gets a nice kill there on that Grand Squad, forcing it down to 2 men, or getting it down to 2 men, I should say. Forcing it to back off. Panzer IV down south, almost clearing out that MG-42. MG-42 not going down. The Grens move down. We'll be able to clean it up eventually. There it goes. And up over here we have 2 ISUs and a Katusha on the field for Pink. That's some very heavy tanks. Panzer IV moves up, trying to get a kill on the ISU, but the ISU is just too strong in the armor. T-34 nearby for support with a KV-2 as well, managing to just do quick work of him. The Elephant decides to get the hell out of there and back off across the river. As a lot of Soviet troops move into the southern island, we have only a, we have a Pio and a Gren squad trying to hold this territory down south, but they're not going to be able to do much. Faustus go off on the T-34, forcing it away. The ISUs up in the north, not really engaging anything. We have still that scout car on the field. Incendiary rounds landing around here on that Pack 43 gun. The Pack 43 still alive, not really taking too much damage, so it's just fine. Supported by 2 Panthers for yellow with a Panzer Warfare nearby. Katusha Barrage flies and is trying to impact that Pack 43, but the Pack 43 is doing just fine. I think that was a friendly kill, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was. No, it wasn't. Okay, never mind. Well, must have been the pack gun over here. Yeah. Scout car finally goes down up in the north. We see the Panthers moving down south to try and engage those conscripts and stop them from capturing the point. The points are down to 33 points for the Germans. They can't really afford to let the points get recaptured, and the southern point has been recaptured. The entire southern isle has been recaptured. We see a conscript squad pushing forward on the Elephant. They run into an S minefield and take some damage, but they are relentless. And we see Pioneer squads and Grens flooding into the northern point, I guess, northern victory point, and stopping the cap from that, allowing those points to not bleed. Down to 296 points for the Soviet forces. 2 IS-2s push forward. The Pios just get the hell out of there immediately. Second Pio squad backpedals a little bit and gets themselves into the point. And we have 2 Panzer IVs on the field for Teal, Otto Gans. And we said that we had 2 Panthers on the field for yellow. However, these guys need repairs. The Pak-43 is also keeping those at bay. The Katyusha really not able to hit anything. It's being very unlucky in that front. Bunker getting repaired there by the Pios. Conscripts up north running into those Panthers. Artillery field officer and Gren trying to stop the conscripts from advancing. They will be able to do so, and it's actually providing a accuracy buff there for the infantry, and should allow them to get the edge there. But yeah, I mean, the southern side has fully fallen. Up in the north, we have some the Pack Guns and the Panthers moving up and engaging a T-34. The T-34 goes down, as well as have a MG bunker up in the northern side. Nice little angle there for the bunker because you can't pass through this, so you know it's a natural choke point there. And yeah, so conscript squad goes all the way up to into the enemy territory and ends up getting killed. We have Tiger still on the field over here. Opal blitzes just littered all over the place, getting additional resources for all players. And the Elephant is moving now into the center as a Flak Panzer is nearby for support. Not a bad combination. Supports against infantry, supports against air, and you can also add damage onto tanks. Flak Panzer moves up, trying to get the kill on that guard squad. Does not manage to do so. We do have a KV-2 nearby. AT gun does go off on the Flak Panzer. The Flak Panzer gets its engine destroyed, it looks like. Now getting shot at by the planes, trying to take them down. We also have a plane crashing in the center. Almost crashes into one of these Panzer IVs and the house where the MG42 is, but unfortunately it didn't. ISUs and T-34s over here in the center, just looking around the center point. And this other night, it looks like, yeah, it actually has been completely abandoned by the German forces. We see that there is a pair of pack guns down south just trying to stop any flanking maneuver here by armor that might want to go and harass the enemy base. Panzer IV and Tiger move into the center. The Panzer IV takes out a T-34, but only ends up getting shot in the rear armor by something. I'm not sure what it was. Was it the ISU? May have been. Does have massive amount of range. T-34 duking it out with that guy. With the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV gets its engine destroyed and is now down to its last leg. Shot goes off from the T-34 and takes it out. T-34 ends up alive at about half health. Tiger is on the field, getting some shots on those conscripts, but not managing to do much. Center victory point, getting assaulted there by conscripts. The Grants are nearby and on the point, trying to stop it. Panthers moving in for a nice flanking run here on that KV-2. The Penal Battalion is nearby, throws a satchel on top of the Panther. Gonna do some damage to the Panther, very small amount of damage though. Ram goes off and does get a crit on the engine, but with the recent change, Ram is no longer guaranteed to get the weapon destroyed. I think it's another one of the things that it can disable. So this guy has a damaged engine, but the T-34 does end up losing his weapon and fully immobilized. IS-2 moves down and it does quick work. Well, actually, no. Tank over here died, but the Panther does end up dying to the IS-2 anyways. Panzer IV moves in for the flank on the IS-2. Nice little flank here by Teal. The IS-2 is in a lot of trouble. Panther now moves up. Panther does have more anti-tank capabilities than Panzer IVs. And the T-34 ends up going down to the Panzer IVs. The Panzer IVs continue to shoot. One of them has a destroyed engine or a heavily damaged engine. No, it's just a damaged engine. Taking a lot of punishment there by that IS-2. IS-2 continues to get shot at from the Panther. Manages to move up and get the last kill on that Panzer IV before it dies itself. And there it goes. A nice little victory there for the German players, managing to do a lot of... Where? A bomb lands somewhere around here. Looks like it might have actually damaged the ISU, but that's about it. Elephant is shooting at range, massive range. Not exactly sure what it's shooting at, though. Panzer Warfish is barraging into the trench where nobody is. Bit of a waste there, but not too big of a deal. Pack gun, stolen pack gun, actually gets moved up and gets a nice actual surprise there on that elephant. The elephant gets crew shocked and takes a lot of damage. It's now down to about 30% strength, 25 maybe. It is veteran C2, which gives it more mobility and rate of fire, but now it needs to get fully repaired before it can do much. The Pack 43 over here is still alive, still kicking, still being able to hold this territory. So the Soviet tanks are holding behind that range. We see another ISU up in the north for red, as his IS-2 down south is getting repaired. Green making a little bit, oh, that was nasty, making a little bit of a prod there into the island, ends up getting one of his Panzer Grenadier squad killed. And we have a second Panzer Grenadier squad on the other side of this river. We'll see if they decide to do much, considering that there is, you know, maximum machine guns and such just defending the points. Two Tigers on the field for green. One needs repairs as its engine got a little bit damaged there. Needs to be purring like a kitten. Something getting called in. It looks like it's a bombing strike. No, it's a strafing run apparently. Oh, very nice combination there. So strafing run and Stuka bombing strike at the same time by both players. Gets a lot of damage there on those conscript squad. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't kill them fully. One of them down to one man, the other one down to two. But it does do a lot of damage. T-34 up in the north getting hunted down by some Panthers. Ends up dying very quickly. Those have a pack gun nearby that can do a lot of damage to it. The bunker did take some damage, but it's still alive. And we see the ISU and an Su-85 moving up to the north. They're going to run through a teller mine. Oh, the ISU is going to run into a teller mine. Oh, teller mine gets hit. About half damage on that ISU and engine damage on it. So now it's very slowly crawling back. I don't think anybody's aware that it hit the mine, however, so it will probably make it out of there. The elephant is moving up to the north. Is there another elephant? Well, there's a flak panzer there and another flak panzer over here. So no, there's only one elephant. ISU still heavily disabled. We see the Panther moving up. Gonna run into that ISU. The ISU now getting shot by both Panthers. Goes down very quickly. Tiger moves in for a nice flank. The Katyushas are throwing a barrage, but now they're out of position, and they are now out of life. Su-85 managing to inflict a lot of damage on that Panther, but it just goes down to the massive amounts of anti-tank capabilities here. And the Katyushas just going to be going down to combined fire. And there it goes. Soviet forces just losing a lot of vehicles left and right. They cannot afford to bleed that much. And they are now down to 172 points. They still hold the southern islands, and they are, you know, getting ticked by 1 point at a time, but they're running out of time. So let's take a look at those resources. Anybody floating? No, actually, everything looks fine. We have 700 for PerfectWave, but, you know, we also have some units that, you know, require around 700, you know, for the heavier tanks, so doesn't actually say anything or mean anything there, so. Loxley giving the preemptive GG. Feeling confident, though, that they have inflicted sufficient damage here to the Soviet forces that they will not be able to recover. Panzer IV and Panther for Teal, getting surprised there by an Su-85 that just hit the field from a nice little angle. Manages to inflict some damage on the Panther, but they're still barreling down on the enemy base. They decide to circle around and are now going to go straight at that Su-85. The Su-85 is backing off down the road, and the Panther and Panzer IV managed to get a nice amount of damage on it. Artillery field officer not able to provide much to this fight, and we have the Tigers in the front of the base getting bombed, but managing to dodge that quite successfully. Panther and Panzer IV, looks like they did manage to catch up to the Su-85. The Su-85 dies right there, as there were pack guns and more things in the north anyways. And the Panther is getting produced. Another elephant getting called into the field, so now with two elephants and a flak panzer that is currently heavily disabled. But with two elephants, yeah, I mean, that actually should be a good game. Although, not really, but we'll see. ISU down south gets caught out of position as well, but that is all she wrote. GG, and the enemy calls it quits. So very nice tank battles all over the place. So I hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.